Like all police officers, RCMP members sometimes have to see or investigate traumatic events, and sometimes it's just too much to bear. CBC News has learned of a dramatic increase in the number of RCMP officers seeking help for job-related stress, problems RCMP brass have failed to address adequately in the past. The CBC's Cameron McIntosh reports.
Hi, Gigi.
It's taken Christine Lascelles 2 years to restore her self-esteem.
There was a long period of time where I didn't feel worthy of wearing that uniform.
3 years ago, she was an acting RCMP corporal, investigating child pornography cases. The material got to her. She asked for help.
They keep saying, you're fine, you're fine, you're fine.
Those binders document her requests for follow-up. None came. She grew depressed, despondent, and finally got an independent diagnosis of post-traumatic stress disorder. Today, she's on disability.
There's nothing that the RCMP could do to me that'd be any worse than me wanting to be dead. And that's how ultimately low I got.
She's far from the only one. According to Veterans Affairs, which handles stress cases for the RCMP, 5 years ago, 1,100 Mounties were either off the job temporarily or for good due to PTSD. That number has since doubled. It's a similar story for other mental health issues.
Police services find themselves where the military was about 15, 20 years ago.
Andre Marin is Ontario's ombudsman. He has analyzed mental health in the Canadian military and in police forces.
The first thing to do is to denounce the culture that they are superheroes.
Easier said than done.
And this is what members of the RCMP are, heroes.
Recently, a recording leaked of a staff meeting where the RCMP's commissioner was interpreted as making light of mental health issues.
If you get hurt on the job, and that includes, we're going to look after you.
He apologized for how that came off. Today, the RCMP acknowledges it has more officers off the job than ever before, attributing that to greater awareness and more people willing to seek counseling. Although the brass admits stigma still exists.
We haven't completely changed our culture, but I can tell you that it is changing, and it is evolving.
Not in time for Lascelles, who believes her career could have been saved.
Things along the way couldn't have screwed up any worse than they did.
Instead of going back to serve, she's waiting on the RCMP to agree to a medical discharge. Cameron McIntosh, CBC News, Saskatoon.